Are there aspects to your day that you feel as if you're just, checking the box? Do you ever strive to reach out of your comfort zone, become uncomfortable, and level up? Privileged to be your host, this is Jason Wabick. Now, let's uncheck the box. Another fantastic day to everybody out there. Once again, my name is Jason Wabick, host of the Uncheck the Box podcast, where today we bring another topic that'll help us in our quest to be the best versions of ourselves that we can be. I've titled this one, Define Your Core Purpose, or in some cases, it's known as your why. But I love that term, core purpose. And I'll give you a little bit of the backstory as to what inspired this episode. As I explained in episode 1, I'm a prospecting coach. I train professionals in the area of prospecting new clients in order to fill their pipeline. And in that filling the pipeline, there's a lot of engagement via the phones, right? And there's this thing called call reluctance that kind of gets in our way, and we've got to call people we potentially don't know. And, there's some anxiety there and hearing the word no. And again, we kind of talked about that fear of failure, the fear of rejection. But, my friends, I got to thinking, and as I work with these professionals, I really focus on what is the reason for the call. Something I call, what is the motivation for that phone call? But, it also could be, what's at the core? What's our core purpose for doing what we do every single day? Especially when there's days that, we just don't want to do the very thing that we know we should be doing. Some days we just want to remain comfortable. We listen to that inner voice that tries to hold us back. And we just don't want to stretch ourselves and don't want to throw ourselves into the uncomfortableness. But my friends, at the core, that heart speaks to us. That's the voice we should be listening to step up, move on out, and push ourselves to the outer limits of the places that we didn't even know that we could reach. So, our core purpose in life. Defining your purpose isn't just a philosophical exercise. In fact, it serves as an incredibly practical purpose. It acts as your guide. It's the idea that focuses every what that you do and every how that you do it. It single-handedly is the energy that fuels you every single day. You have to be aware of it and making sure that with every decision you make, that those actions follow those decisions. Your plans and actions will change. My friends, sometimes they'll change daily. But this, my friends, has to stay constant. And I'll say this, money is fuel, but it is not a destination. And this purpose, it needs to be purposeful and meaningful. It's got to be, again, that fuel that catapults you to that next level. When I work with sales consultants, I teach this. What's our purpose? If our purpose to pick up that phone and work with potential clients, because it's, all about the sale or making the commission, do you think for a single second the customer senses that? Whereas if our purpose is more service-driven, finding ways to help them, might that also be something that the customer can possibly sense from us? Again, money can fuel us, but if service is at the core, that's the message that the customer's going to hear. And that's, my friends, what's going to take us to the next level. It's about having a core purpose in life and breaking it down to the most micro level. It should not include any methods, a means, or approach as to how you're going to execute an action. It's just basically something that's going to keep your mind and your heart connected. But make sure, my friends, to keep it within your control. So how can we define our core purpose? Or should I say an activity that can help us come up with and discover that purpose if we've never done it before? Well, I've got a pretty simple method that I came up with in my research, and it was on an article that was done by a gentleman by the name of Clay Ostrom. And he itemized 3 actions, and then he took it a step further with kind of breaking it down to that micro. So let's start with this 3 actions. Number 1, separate any of your financial aspirations from what the driving force is. We talked about that already. Was it connected to a passion, an area of expertise, or simply just emotional driven? Okay, to create a new path. So write down a whole bunch of things that at the core drive you. Number 2, after that initial spark, describe the journey. How are we going to get there, right? And then number 3, since the start, what's changed and what's remained constant? Once we've kind of got some thoughts down on paper, maybe we've got a couple paragraphs worth of content on there, then we're going to start breaking it down. We take those sentences, right? And we distill the essence of what we wrote into a single sentence. And we do it like 3 times. So we took all of that and we broke it down into 3 different sentences. That's it, just 3 sentences. Now, we're going to take it a step further. We're going to then distill that idea into 5 words or less, and we're going to do that a few times, okay? So now we have broken up those sentences and found 5 words 3 times that have come into meaning. So we've got like 15 words. And then from there, we kind of see, okay, do I want to take it to another micro level? So I'll share with you my story. And I didn't realize I was doing this actually way back when in college, probably 15 years ago. But we kind of did a similar thing, although we chose a friend that actually helped us in this process. And I must say, this person, I'll never forget it. Her name was Sherry, and it was a friend of mine. And she helped me define my core purpose into 3 words. And I'm so lucky that I had the ability of, and I'll never forget this, is that it was live, love, and serve. And that is kind of my core purpose every single day without really realizing that was embedded in myself many, many years ago. But is to live life every single day, right? Stretch myself, grow myself. Learn new things, travel, do this, do that, whatever it is, just live life. Number 2 is to love people, care about them. Number 3, to serve them, right? To be there to help, to mentor, to train, to coach, all the things that I do right now, but even with people who need my financial help or whatever it might be, find ways to serve them. Now, everybody, as we just talked about, our path is going to change. We have good days, we have bad days. There's days we get up in the morning, we're just not feeling it. There's days that we get up in the morning, we are ready to absolutely attack the day, right? So our path to our journey changes, like I said just moments ago, daily. But our core never changes. And again, that's our fuel that keeps us going every single day. My friends, my challenge today, and I'll leave you with this, is write your story. Write your story. You have control over where you go with this thing called life. We only have one trip around this thing, and you have the ability to define who you are, and what your purpose is. You know, sometimes in life we get too far ahead of ourselves. We're thinking about the next move and the next move. How about fate has brought you here right now? You are meant to be in this situation. And it might be a moment of adversity, but you know what? You are meant to be in this moment. So define it, attack it, but understand that your core purpose has not wavered one bit. And you're going to push through this thing. Be out there, be a servant, help people, find ways to be a difference maker. And I promise you this, you'll live a more prosperous life and you'll do a lot of good out there. My friends, I appreciate you tuning in today. I know it was quick and short and sweet and to the point. Define your core purpose. Why are you here? What's meant to be? You know, what drives you? So you can get up every single morning, go out there in the world, and do a whole lot of good. Ladies and gentlemen, write your story. And as always, I appreciate you. Until next time, go kill it today.